Welcome back to another episode of Rated TNT, the show where we talk about TV, movies, fandom, fanfic, and everything in between. I'm Tay. That's Tim. And if y'all did not watch the first episode, babes, you need to go get it on that. But we're back with our very special guests, Alex and Tress, to talk about a very special show, Heated Rivalry. In particular, episodes 3 and 4, baby. Yeah. So for the first part of our podcast, we're going to head into press play. Y'all talk.
Right. Well, to start it off, I need us all to answer a question quickly. Don't think too hard about it. Just answer. Of these 3 lines, which is your favorite? Or, I pick or. You're starting to sound like him. Or, he deserves sunshine and so do you.
Ooh.
He deserves sunshine and so do you. Yeah.
You starting to sound like him.
You starting to sound like him.
Yeah.
You starting to sound like him for sure.
Like, honestly, I could pick or too because I'm sorry. That will never not be funny to me. Because Kip was like, oh, you really finna give me a tour? Like, this place is nice. And Scott was like, girl, do you want to turn his body? And yeah. Yeah. Well, yes, I do. What are you talking about?
Chit chat. Like, let's get to the point.
Stop it. We can do the tour later, friend. What? No. But you starting to sound like him to get Shane out his character to
want character
up on the ice.
Oh, crazy. And then he followed up with a, you fucking heard me, Hollander.
Yeah.
And like,
also, what was so funny. Right. What was so funny though was that Shane was like, excuse me? Like, Scott said, you're starting to sound like him. And Shane said, excuse me?
Wait.
Look,
his whole demeanor changed because he was like, huh?
But it took him so long to even like get Buck over it. Like he skates up talking shit, thinking shit's sweet, thinking, oh, I'm talking shit to my friend on the ice. Like, oh, that wasn't a good game. And Scott Hunter just goes for the fucking kill. Like, you're starting to sound like him. And he's like, huh?
Even the roll up. The little roll up. I'm like, you might as well have walked up to him and said, I hope you're having a lovely day. Like, you couldn't muster up no attitude or nothing.
Right. With a little smile on his face.
Harder next time.
He was like, oh, I guess that wasn't a good game.
Maybe show up next time. And then he said, you're starting to sound like him. And Shane said, excuse me?
Right.
What did he say? He's so baby. He's Snoopy.
Yeah. Like, that whole thing. Yeah, that was that. I think everyone screamed the first time we saw that.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yeah. And to think he didn't even know. Like, he just said it just because. And Shane took it to mean like, oh, you know? But he really didn't.
He was just a mess.
It's crazy that Scott even said it, though. Like, it's even
very crazy.
Not having it confirmed. Like, because y'all know I rewatched it in a different order. So I watched episodes 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, 6. And watching the scene in episode 1 where Scott overhears him say the room he's in, and then going to that scene of you're starting to sound like him, because timeline wise, that's when it's happening. That's insane. It's
that's very crazy.
Said that.
It is. And like, I also know that like in hockey, they do be calling each other by their last name, but because Ilya calls him Hollander so much, to hear the way that like Scott says, you fucking heard me, Hollander. The way in which he said it just sounded like Ilya, actually. Right. So first of all, it's the fact that you said it, and then bitch is the fact it's the way in which you said it. I felt like he was playing with him, and I felt like him getting out of character was actually on point. Because I would have wanted to whip his ass too. I don't care if the game over. Let's fight.
Even the announcers were like, have we ever seen Shane Hollander get in a fight like this on the ice before?
Oh.
No, my baby Shane Hollander.
Let's be for real. Scott would have beat him the fuck up.
And would have.
Real bad. I hate to say that because you know I love my close personal friend, Shane, but Scott would have turned him every way but loose on that ice.
And Ilya would have been
Mollywopped.
so embarrassed. Like he'd been like, "Babe,
Would have
come
been popping
on."
the whole time. Every single one of his muscles aching, joints popping, knees cracking, but he would have wore Shane's ass out.
He
Like,
Shane would have got mollywopped. And
I would have.
yeah, like he would have got mollywopped, and that's all
Real
right.
bad.
I would have swept the ice with his
Yeah.
ass. I just
Like,
mm.
such a good line. I do love though Elena's line.
Yes.
What is it? You deserve, or he deserves sunshine, and you do too. I love that line because I think it captures both series. It captures both couples really well because all four of them don't think they deserve something good. They don't think they deserve the other person and the feelings they get from that person. But that one line is pretty much saying, no, you deserve it. And so does he. Like everyone deserves it. Oh,
Let's talk about Elena, because after the episode, a lot of people were calling her a hater. And they were saying she like overstepped and like she shouldn't have done that. And I didn't see that. I didn't see it that way. I saw it as her being a good friend. I'm like,
yeah.
clearly y'all must not have good friends, because that's
Clearly
the way
not.
I took it.
And let's talk about that, because I don't think people really have good friends no more, because like she did not overstep. I would have said all that and actually some more when it came to my friend. What we talking about?
Right.
What
Like,
we talking about?
I think, honestly, just like all the women in the show, I think Elena has a lot of kindness in her heart for everyone involved. Because I think if she was overstepping and not being a good friend, she could have sabotaged
Absolutely.
and that would have been a very easy relationship to sabotage. She could have said, "You need to leave him alone, or I will tell everyone." Like she could have easily tried to sabotage him. It could have been a lot darker. She could have tried to force them to break up, but instead, she was just very honest. She's like, "He's miserable, and he's miserable because he's essentially forced back in the closet with you, and that's not the way he's been living." But she also tells Scott, yeah, like even though he's miserable, he doesn't deserve it, but neither do you. Like she had a lot of kindness towards Scott, which he deserved it, but she wasn't the one responsible to give it to him, but she did.
Exactly.
Like I think, yeah, because honestly, I mean, I know for girls, we'll easily step in and talk to a friend's boyfriend. Like, you need to tighten your shit up, you piece of shit. Like real easily.
Really?
Like,
Yeah.
it's so easy, but I don't think we see that dynamic too often with a girl talking to her male friend's boyfriend. I don't think we've seen that too often. Maybe Glee, like Rachel talking to like Kurt or Blaine or something. Like it's the only thing I can think of.
Everything can always come back to Glee.
Everything can
Everything
always
goes
go
back to Glee.
I'm gonna do that. FOMO. I've not watched it yet. It's on my
Okay,
January watch
watch it.
list. I'm gonna start it this week. I
You
am.
gotta watch it.
I
That's
also,
real television.
I also think that she did not have to tell Scott that he deserves sunshine either. I feel like if she was a hater and she really just didn't give a shit, like you said, Alex, there would be multiple other ways that she could have went about what what she wanted to do. But the fact that like, no, she was being supportive to Kip, but also realizing that like this is hurting him. Let's go to the source. As a friend, as a real friend would do. You're causing my friend heartache. Oh, baby, I'm going to the source. I don't need to talk to nobody else about Nathaniel.
Yeah.
I'm going to you. But I'm also going to let you know that
she made a really good point. What you said, Alex, she was like, he's miserable, but she also said he will continue to do that. Like he's miserable, but he will continue to be miserable, like
because he loves
allow
you.
it.
Yeah. Like I think it was so I don't think Scott and Kip would have ended up where they were if she wouldn't have had that conversation with him, because that was kind of like I don't want to say warning shot because that sounds really aggressive, but it essentially was a warning shot to Scott to be like, hey, he loves you, you love him, he is willing to suffer because he loves you. And he knows that the reason y'all are in this situation is not his fault. Like it's not Scott's fault that they have to deal with this. But at the same time, Elena's like, he deserves better. And I'm not saying it's your fault that you can't give him better, but you have to recognize that this is an issue. Like, I think Elena I love Elena. Like, honestly, I love all the women on the show. You'll never hear me say a bad thing about them because all of them are written with, I think, especially coming from the way, I don't know how Elena's written in the book because I haven't read Game Changers, but the way Rachel even wrote Rose and Svetlana, and then the way Jacob brought all of them to life in the show, they could have easily, either Rachel or Jacob could have easily written these women to be the enemy of the audience. Like, could have easily made it so easy to make it so where these women, and two of them being women of color, are the enemies of the audience, and they didn't. And I love that, especially considering that this is an romance. It could have been very easy to like make it so where the only supportive people are just these two people in the relationship, that the whole world is against them. But I think it also shows that this universe that Game Changers is set in isn't meant to be like where everyone is their enemy. You know, the enemy is just the homophobia within the league. That's really the villain of the story. It's not their friends, not their family. Well, I won't give a spoiler, but
I was gonna say, well,
right, it's the league. The league is the villain. And I just love the fact that they kept that continued with Elena, with Rose, with Svetlana, with even Yuna. Like all the women in the show show a lot of kindness towards all of these love interests.
I also feel like she did not have to say you deserve sunshine either.
Nope.
I feel like people are missing that. If you think she was a hater, if I'm hating, you don't deserve nothing. What are you talking about? Like, if I'm hating, like, I don't want this to be a thing. Because, like, obviously she knows that he loves Kip. And, like, the sunshine in question is obviously, like, him being out. But I also think it's each other. Like,
yeah.
In a sense, like, that's what she's saying. She's saying, like, y'all deserve the world. You deserve sunshine. You deserve everything. Y'all deserve each other. Fix it. Get it together. Stop.
Fix it. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yep.
And he did. He did.
Allegedly,
he did.
It took some years.
Yeah.
Of course, we didn't see that in the show, but I saw something recently that people were talking about, like how much time had really passed, and apparently it was like years.
3 years?
Yeah,
I think it was like 3 years.
And they were like, Kip was crashing out that whole time, so we really missed a lot.
Listen, honestly, every time I think of Scott and Kip, I do think of their AO3 counterparts, Steve Rogers and one Bucky Barnes. And
my loves.
It does just add another layer to it. It just adds another layer that I eat up personally.
Well, yes.
Because one thing about those two, they will crash out over each other.
And we'd love to see it, you know?
Absolutely.
Love to read it, actually. I am curious, though, because obviously there was a lot of discourse about the third episode just being about Scott and Kip. Tim, why are you laughing?
No reason. And no, I love Skip.
And Alex, I know you did a video about watching it in a different order, but I'm curious to know like how y'all felt when we got to the episode, had been waiting. None of the bars were on closure, as they say on a talk. How y'all felt about it being a Scott and Kip episode, and us only getting about 20 to 30 seconds of hauling off, and having to wait another week for another episode.
I personally did not mind it. Like I think episode 3, I know a lot of people have said it felt like a Hallmark movie, and they say that in a derogatory way. I said the same thing, but I mean that in a complimentary way. It felt like a Hallmark movie that ended before the third act, and the third act we get in episode 6. Like, to me, it was I think even without reading the book, though, you kind of get that whole, I don't know, it just kind of introduces you more to the universe that Game Changers is in, or like that Heated Rivalry is in, instead of just this isolated story. Because Shane and Ilya are not an isolated story. This is their story, but they're not in an isolated situation. So I didn't mind it, but I also had the context of the book, so I knew we were going to get something. But I didn't mind it. I really enjoyed the episode. Like when I rank the episodes, that's not my last ranking. It's not number 6 for me. So I liked it. I I have no complaints. Listen, at that point in that show, I was so rabid for any small dose of that show. I was eating good.
We know I loved it. Skip fan. Skip out. Okay. I love them. The only thing I will say is, and I feel like I definitely said this in like my recap video, it felt like a whiplash episode. Like, especially going from the two intense Hollow episodes that we had, it felt like, oh, what is this? For me, not in a bad way, because I still enjoyed it. And funny enough, after several rewatches, I feel like the episode was more so about Kip than it was about Scott. I feel like I left the episode knowing more about him than anybody else.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I do think that the order should have been changed. Like it should have been maybe episode 2, and then we went like 2 and 3 should have flipped or something like that. Just because it did feel, especially because like you said, like they dropped the first 2 episodes at the same time. So we were all high off that Holonov, right? Desperately waiting for the next week just for us to like not really get any help, So like I think that was like where a lot of the disappointment came from, because like everybody was like, oh, more, and they got less. But I enjoyed it. I liked Scott and Kip. And I think that the role that they played in the story is very, very helpful, very, very beneficial to Hollanov, without spoiling it. But I'm sure if you're watching this, you've probably already seen it and know exactly what we're talking about.
And if you ain't, you on that. What?
Right. But their role was very important to the Hollanov story. And I think that's the answer to why people are like, oh, why was this included? Why was this blah, blah, blah? Because we needed it, like we need it. Now, did we need a whole episode of it? That's up for you to determine. I'm not going to answer that one way or another, but we needed it, right? We definitely needed it. We needed the introduction of Skip in order for us to get where we got at the end. And it would have been weird for us to not be introduced to them with the role that they played to get us to the finale.
Yeah. I think it's the way they released the show is the biggest thing. I think, like you said, Tim, switching that episodes 2 and 3 would have absolutely made it a little less, or not do a 2-episode premiere.
Yeah.
So that way it was 1 week, 2 next week, 3. But it had to have been in the first 3. I wonder if they just put it as the 3rd episode, as like kind of like the middle, in a way to kind of be like, we don't know where the fuck this episode goes, but we know it has to be in the beginning, and we know it's kind of going to irritate some people because it's not hauling off. So let's just stick it in the middle. So that way they still have 3 more weeks to keep the ratings. Like, I wonder if that was the idea. Who knows?
I don't know. I did. I'm gonna stop smirking down there in that corner. I did enjoy the episode, contrary to what some people on this podcast think. I did really enjoy the episode. One of my favorite things about it was the vulnerability. Like Scott just flat out being like, "Hey, I want you here when I get up off that ice," and I can respect that. He was very honest, very vulnerable, and that's something that we weren't seeing with Hollanov, and I think that's the contrast of that. Enjoyed it down. Did it feel like whiplash? Absolutely. We was all off that Hollanov. We had 2 full episodes of nothing but them. And then we were kind of just thrown Scott and Kip. That's what it felt like for me. I do think that they are essential to the story for Ilya and Shane. So I understand why they chose to include it. I do think the way in which they chose to include it could have been a little bit different. Because while I did say that they was U-Haul lesbian through the relationship, they also U-Haul lesbian through that goddamn episode. Why did we have 80% of their book? And then we had 80% of their book in that one episode, and then didn't even get the rest of the story before they did what they did at the end of episode 5. It felt unfinished. It felt like we just were given their relationship just to move along the story between Shane and Ilya. And I don't like that because if we're introducing them and we having a full episode of them, I want to stick with them to the end. I want to know what happened in those 3 years between that and him kissing him at the, or if y'all ain't watched it yet, I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
It
is what it is.
It's above us at this point.
Hey, take that up with yourself. But we should have got, like, it should have been fully fleshed out, right?
Yeah.
I also think that it either like a solution to us having whiplash, like you said, Alex, either not do a 2-episode premiere, or if we're gonna do the 2-episode premiere, because we got enough Hollanov in the first episode, we had just enough to like hold us over. Y'all could have introduced Scott and Kip in the second episode, or if they were meant to just be a side relationship to push the other one along, we could have gotten some of their story within like the first 2 episodes, kind of like told alongside it, because we have shows where like they're side characters and we are not only just following this one couple but we're following others too. It could have been something like that where we were getting glimpses of them, and like I just feel like it wouldn't have been that much whiplash if we were introduced to them earlier and like their relationship played alongside the other one. I do get that might have been hard to do given all the time skips within a Hollanov relationship.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would have been a harder thing to do.
Weren't they happening at the same time, technically?
They were happening at the same time.
Yeah. That's why, like, I can't even explain the timeline. I'm not going to try to. But yeah, they are happening at the same time.
And so I felt like they could have told parallel stories of them if like they were like, we could have had all the Hollanov and then just like 10 to 15 minutes or something telling their story instead of just like all of it in one episode. But I did enjoy having them. I thought they were funny. I thought that it was a cute little episode. Was they U-Haul lesbian? They for sure were.
Because he moved up in there. He moved up in there fast.
I wish I could have included the part where Scott offers him like a $20,000 check or something, or like $50,000 check. Because let me tell you,
was it for school?
I think, to my understanding, he offered him a check under the guise of like, you're here all day, like I don't know what else to give you. You changed my life, this is how I can change yours. Like I think there's like a or something that's along the lines of like, you were able to change my life, this let me change yours, or something like that. I think for school though, like I think
they were setting it up like the whole school thing, like Scott was about to pay for it, but then they just never circle back to it.
Yeah,
and I'd have skipped all the way to the bank with that check. What are you talking about?
Not only would I skip to the bank, I would have skipped to the bank and went right back to my man's house, put my feet up, and made sure that shit was clean. There's a meal waiting in the fridge for him.
Scott Hunter was so turned on by food and domesticity.
Right. He was so eager to please.
The smoothie, that damn pasta salad. He was hot and ready. That's
okay.
Caesar's pizza, goddamn it! Oh,
what they say, you gotta cook and clean and wash everything.
Okay, own it.
Yeah, I think Scott and Kip, though, I think they are victims of the 6-episode television seasons.
Yeah.
Because even if the show would have been 10 episodes, 12, we probably would have got a lot more from them, and we would have got their full story, and probably 3 episodes or less. Like that one full episode dedicated to them, what happens in episode 5, and maybe like another 20 minutes of them sprinkled throughout. Yeah. They could have told that whole story. Like,
they did have a lot to, I think, at that point, after the 3rd episode, they still had a lot of story to tell. Like, a lot of story to tell. Because I think somebody was saying that, like, the conversation in the 4th episode, or no, is it the 4th? No, the 5th, at the beginning of the 5th episode, that was only, like, 50% through the book. Like, only about 50% through the
conversation with Rose?
Yeah, and I said, that's actually insane. That, like,
it was. Because the end of episode 3 was 49% of the book. So they still had 51% of the book to tell in 4, 5, and 6. And they ate that.
They ate
Is it?
Well, no. That was the end of episode 4. So they still had 49% of the book or 51% of the book to tell in 5 and 6, rather. Excuse me, because 3 is all skip. So at the end of episode 4, that was 49% of the book, and then 5 and 6, they still had over half the story to tell.
That's insane.
Yeah, and they ate that. Go Jake.
Yeah. Mr. Tierney, yeah, you had that
great
boo.
job.
Love Jake.
He had that in the bag, and he delivered real bad. I will say though, wait. Anybody else got any thoughts about episode 3?
I mean, y'all already said everything I was going to say, so no.
Skip-oholic.
Yeah.
I love Skip. I do. I love them people. I do.
I think another thing with Skip, which is why I felt like Whiplash, is that Scott really is older than Shane and Ilya. So he's looking for that immediate domesticity. Like he wants a house husband. Obviously Kip had to stay in the house. Skip, Scott, Kip, fuck the name. Had to stay in the house though because Scott was in the closet, but I also think Scott really was just looking to settle down. Like that's what he was looking for. And I think even though Ilya jokes about, oh yeah, Shane's so boring, da 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 da, we all know Ilya really wants that boring life because for Ilya, boring just means safe and content. But I think with Scott and Kip, there's a bit of an age gap there and a much bigger age gap between Shane and Ilya and how their relationship works. And also, Kip isn't a hockey player. Like, he's just a regular guy. So I think their relationship was gonna look different no matter what. So it was gonna feel like Whiplash. Like, there's so many different things about their relationship that's completely polar opposite to Shane and Ilya.
I never even thought about Skip's age gap, but you're so right because Scott's 40 and Kip is 25.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no. I didn't think this.
Scott is like in his 30s. He's like 35, I think.
Oh, Francois is 40. Somebody 40.
Francois is 40.
Francois is 40. I was like, I ain't make that number up, y'all. I promise. Yeah. Okay.
There's a slight age gap. It's like a 10-year age gap or something.
That's not even an age gap.
I didn't think he was that. I didn't watch that book. I mean, we didn't read that book. So why did I thought he was? Y'all keep talking, but yeah, I didn't know. I didn't realize that he was like 38.
38 and 25. That's nothing.
It's not, but I thought I remember like Shane commenting like he's not that much older than us. And so
people were saying it's only like 2 or 3 years.
I thought that he was like 29.
Scott and that man's supposed to be 9?
Hold on.
I think they might be referring to the book, but people were definitely saying like in canon he's only like 2, 3, 4 years older than supposed to be.
No.
Yeah, like I vaguely remember like him only.
Oh yeah, possibly 25 to 28 years old. But the actor
Scott Hunter.
In the books, he was born in 1988, making him around 28, 29 when he first meets Kip in 2017.
Yeah, I was just like, that man's not old.
I don't know why they call him an old bitch, but he definitely
But Shane said you're 45. So why did he say that?
He was being ugly.
And also like
hockey.
Like hockey.
Yeah, the athletic side of it, he's old like in hockey.
He is old to be an athlete. That is true. But like at 28 though, I mean if he was 30, like okay, but 30's young and beautiful and gorgeous.
But like
Shane is impressionable. He heard his man calling him old, and so he just went off.
He heard old, he said old.
Right.
Yeah.
I would think ask a 40-year-old man to play. You know what?
He's hot. I don't know because he's fine as fuck. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's not that big of a deal, but
why is everybody in Teen Wolf in their 30s?
Oh yeah, actually,
they didn't start off in their 30s.
Okay.
No, but they didn't look like they was 17 either.
Why are the Stranger Things kids still in middle school when they get Social Security at this time?
The Stranger Things kids, they're 45.
The one girl is a mama now.
Exactly.
Mama.
Like a mama.
A mother. Like she's a mom now.
That's mother.
Love it. The only other thing about episode 3 that I really loved was Kip's dad.
Oh yeah.
Precious.
Very, very refreshing. Very You know, especially considering Scott Hunter didn't have no family. So it was like, really nice to see that Kip had his like support system. Not that Scott didn't deserve his support system, but Kip really was hurting in the situation. So it was good to see that. Granted, in the books, like I said, people saying he'd been crashing out for 30 days and 30 nights. But at least in the show, he had his support system to lean on, and he definitely did, like last we saw him.
I think that's something else that like I feel like we missed out a lot on with the episode, just trying to get through the entirety of the book. I don't know Scott still. I feel
we
like
don't
that.
know him.
I don't know that man from a paint.
No, we learned a lot
about
Kip's friends, about like we just learned that Scott apparently liked to read about serial killers and
he's an orphan.
And he's an orphan. That's it. That's all.
And he runs like Captain America.
Flat-footed, slew-footed, whatever. Like he just
run like Captain Jack Sparrow. Like he trying to run like Captain America,
and it didn't work.
Captain Jack Sparrow. He run real goofy, like respectfully,
real goofy.
Like I seen that run. I said, "Oh, I guess he's a ice skater on hockey, so I guess he don't be on the ground that much." But all right.
Let their story be a reminder. It too can happen to you, because that little fuck ass smoothie really did it for him. Okay?
That wasn't even a smoothie,
I know that shit won't good. I know it tastes like straight banana. And then he went up in there one day and was like, "Let me get extra banana." You are freaking I know that shit won't good.
No, it's just a banana smoothie at that point. It was juice. It was watery, and the banana
didn't have no consistency.
It was a different color and consistency every single time.
Every time.
They just put more water in the cup. Every time they had to film a new scene with it, they just watered it down more. Because I was like, he wants him back because that smoothie nasty.
It has to be. It didn't even look like.
It didn't look appetizing at all.
But he wanted that cookie, so
he was hungry.
He got it.
He did. And did, snagged in the bag. Okay. But yeah, let's talk about episode 4.
I was about to say, can we move to real television?
Real television.
Episode 4.
Real television.
Episode 4.
That was good food.
Shout out to Rose. I love my girl down. I loved her from the start. To not spoil it, love her even more as time went on.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rose Landry.
Really.
Daddy.
We love Rose Landry in this house. Like, I loved her in the books. I loved her as soon as I saw her for the first time, I was like, there go my bitch.
There she go.
Yeah, she was great. Like, oh God, the episode was so good. It was devastating though.
Yes.
It broke my heart.
Devastating. Like the first 15 minutes, we were having fun. We was having fun. Them
laughing, kicking.
It was fun. And then that Hollander.
Take it back.
It was a wrap right after that. As soon as Shane said, I have a team meeting. I have to go. You forgot team meeting. Okay. Oh, you can't tell I've seen it like a million times, but it devastating. Like, even we've seen all the episodes after, and it still breaks my heart when I rewatch it.
Yeah. Same. I actually don't be wanting to watch it no more. Like,
I don't either. I got my fix.
I wonder if there was a spike in Google searches for tuna melts.
Oh, I know there was.
Like tuna melt recipes.
Yeah. My friend asked me for mine. And I was, because I love me a tuna melt.
Down. And I know they was taking ginger ale off the shelves in mass. Every brand. Schweppes, what's the other one? Canada Dry. Like, all that gone.
Like, and I surely did have myself a tuna melt and ginger ale that weekend after the episode premiered. I was like, yeah, actually, I'll make me some tuna. Give me a little tuna melt together. Give me a little Canada Dry. Because, I'm Black. I'm going to always have Canada Dry in the house. Right. I'm going to always have ginger ale on top of the fridge. But yeah, oh God. And I'm sorry. that's a nasty ass meal to be eating before you start kissing up on someone.
Before you
Like,
start spitting in hands, what are we talking about?
like
They're in love. They're in
Straight
love.
that's like a sickening amount in love.
They were sickeningly in love. Like, at that
Yeah.
point, because the tuna melt, yeah. Don't be up in my breath. I mean, in my face with the tuna breath. I don't want it.
Bit in my fucking hand. But
Ugh.
she was insane for even
Doing it. Like, wait.
Freaked out. Freaked out.
what? Like, I know one of my thoughts that like crossed my mind when I watched that, I was like, is this like because they're both men? Like, is this like a man thing? Because I would never. I would never. Like, oh God.
You would
Ugh.
never.
After a tuna melt?
Oh, I was looking for in particular what you would never do. Like,
no.
disgusting.
Have a man spit in my hand after
After
eating
tuna
a tuna
yeah.
melt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's disgusting. That's gross.
No.
Disgusting. I
But
love episode 4. We got a lot. We got a
So
lot.
good.
we got
Okay, that was the
Episode
first
4.
time he went to the rodeo.
Right. Exactly.
Woo,
Yeah,
woo.
we got a lot in episode 4. The rodeo, I think that was probably the first cottage mention was episode 4. The parallels
It's a
of like
documentary, yeah.
watching each other like win the cups. We got a lot. We got a lot
We
in
got a
episode
lot.
4.
The club scene. Oh,
yeah, the club scene. That was, I think, the tuna melt, Rose's introduction, and the club scene were like three of the most highly anticipated scenes to go from the book to the
Yeah.
show. Because I think some
absolutely.
people were wondering, like, are they going to be in the books? Like, you're not in the books, in the show. And if so, how are they going to be done? Because I know a lot of people are upset that we didn't get Shane crying after the club scene. Y'all know I love seeing a man cry.
Yes.
And it didn't bother me that much. I think because when you watch it, there are only 2 times in the show where Shane actually lets tears fall.
Mhm.
And that's the first time they say, I love you,
Mm,
and when he's talking to his mom.
Yeah.
mm.
And I think it hits a bit harder knowing that he hasn't truly cried for the audience to see until those moments. Like, so I'm okay with not seeing it.
And even in the I love you scene, it's like
It's like one tear. Yeah.
yeah, because I don't think we actually see it roll. It's just like the wetness
Mhm.
underneath his eye. Them they was rolling with his mom. I said, "Oh, this is crazy." It's also, but the fourth episode is also the first time we get like the clothes swap. Because in that picture that you got, Alex, them not his clothes. He didn't show up in that.
Yeah, and I love the fact that they gave him like bigger clothes because him and
Yes,
Connor are damn near the same size.
because like
But
be
they
real.
they made the clothes a bit bigger.
I think Connor is a little beefier.
You think?
I think he's
Yeah. Just a little.
he's just a tad little beefier than Hudson is.
He might be. I'm looking at it now. This not a good picture to compare.
Yeah, I think he a little beefier. He definitely
Definitely got
taking
some.
it in pecs, okay?
And the ass. Like his
Yeah.
ass is crazy. I have never
Crazy.
seen a man's ass. There's only 2 men's asses out there where I have thought to myself, God damn. Connor stories and that one boy on TikTok, Jake Jones.
Oh,
Yeah.
he got an ass.
Oh,
His
drag
You
the
got
wagon.
one, sister.
Me?
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, yeah.
Me?
I meant
This
American
little
ass.
back here.
Chris Evans.
Oh, America's ass. You're right.
That's true. I'm sorry. Chris Evans is coming in third after these 2, though.
Oh, of course. But he got to make the list, though.
He's in
Right.
there.
He will
He's
make
on
the
it. He's on
list.
it.
He will
He
make
got
the
a
list.
little something back there. He got a little
Top five.
something.
Yeah, because
Top five.
their asses, crazy. Like, crazy. Crazy asses.
I also wanted to go back, Alex. You're talking about the crying scene with Shane having to pull over or whatever. I also was okay not getting that because we don't see it or hear about it in the first book, anyways. We don't get that until the long game, and it's just slightly mentioned to like make the point of something else. So I don't think it was necessarily like a focal point. And honestly, if they want to do a little flashback to make the point in season 2, that's how I would have wanted it to be done versus like us having the full scene because it doesn't come in Heated Rivalry. We don't get it till the long game.
Yeah. I think I think the tuna melt scene was so misunderstood by so many people. Like, or rather, Ilya was misunderstood by a lot of people.
Yeah.
And to the point where it was like almost painful because so many people were like, why would he talk about that him and Svetlana sleep together? Da, da, da. I'm like, Ilya is, first of all, Russian. He speaks very bluntly, very straightforward, very factually, and that's what he was doing. He didn't lie. And then he also said, I also like you. I like you too. Like, I think that scene is so cute up until Shane panics.
Do you think, because we can all think critically here and have nuance, a
Oh,
lot of the Ilya haters,
Mhm.
specifically with this episode, use that scene as a sort of gotcha moment. And a lot of them would say, like, it was Ilya's fault that Shane panicked because he was giving mixed signals. Like their relationship took a leap and a bound forward in this episode, right? Like he had never been to Ilya's house. Ilya had asked him to stay the night. He was cooking for him. So he's sending all of these signals that like this is getting deeper. And then he took a step back when he was like he brought up Svetlana, and like, oh, like I'm sleeping with other people and stuff like that. And so people took that as like, oh, he's playing with Shane's feelings, like he is I hate to use the word baiting, but like that's the one that I saw the most, right? Like he is baiting him with the promise of this is getting a bit more serious just to reel it back.
I think when you consume so much media and like you fall in love with these characters, one thing that like I think I do when I'm analyzing things, I would stop to think like why Ilya would say these things because it would go along with his character. Like if he's not very open about things, not very vulnerable, I feel like the anything that he says or goes about it, like there's a reason for doing it. And then also, if he is doing all these things to have this man spend a night and like went grocery shopping to like make sure that he had something there, make sure he had cold ginger ale.
Yep.
Why? Like I just don't think that I would think of that scene as like him sending mixed signals. I think for me, I more so was just like one, Shane don't never talk about hooking up with anybody else, right? Ilya has it was a dumb way to go about it, but I also think he was fishing.
Mm.
I'm telling you about myself. I'm telling you what I do because he literally said, "I never hear about you talking about girls."
Yeah.
I think it was fishing. I don't think it was more so him, and he's also just very blunt and honest. But like you said, Alex, he also did say, "And I like you." First of all, it took a lot for him to say that.
A lot.
It took a lot for him to say that. I don't think he was sending mixed signals. I don't even think that like Shane freaked out because he was talking about girls. Shane knows that he sleeps
Right.
with women. I don't think it was that. I think that up to that point he was Hollander. And like I spent the night, you had all these things for me. Things was getting real intimate. This was the first time that they were sitting on the couch, like actually having conversation with each other. I don't think it had anything to do with him asking about girls. I don't think he sent mixed signals. I also just think if you're going to comment on characters, you should probably want to analyze the character and figure out why they do the things in which they do before speaking on something. Also, stop making it about you. I
Mhm.
don't know. Maybe you would have felt.
Do you want to hear the other perspective too? I'm deep on like both
Yeah.
both sides. I feel like I can't like make the videos that I make unless I know what everybody's saying. There
Yeah.
are also people on the other side who feel like Shane is more so at fault because in episode 2 we went from we didn't even kiss to now you are getting the intimacy that you wanted and you're running away. So which is it? You don't know what you want, like you're what is it, right? Like was it we didn't even kiss or it's and now it's too much and you got to go.
I think I think when it comes to both of them, they're both still where we're at in episode 4. I think they're both very much sit down, please. Still very much learning how to read each other and how to understand each other. Like, I
Mhm.
think with Shane, we have to remember that with him being autistic, that certain nuances and cues he either misses or just takes too literally. And I think with Ilya, he's, and mind you, he's also taking this a bit literally with a man who has a significant language barrier, right? So there's so many things about their communication that just makes it just slightly more difficult for them to learn each other. And then I think coming from Ilya's perspective, again, language barrier, but then he's also learning to read Shane, who is autistic, right? So there's certain things there. I think that plays a huge part into how they communicate with each other and how their communication with each other evolves. I think people looking at Ilya, I think trying to blame either Shane or Ilya is people looking for a villain.
Yeah.
They want someone to blame as to why the relationship's not working. And I think one of the great things about Heated Rivalry is that there isn't a single person to blame. It's society, it's Russia, it's the NHL, it's, it's the world. It's not Shane or Ilya's fault specifically as to why they're not together or why Shane panics or why Ilya's not vulnerable. Like there's so many little things that built them up into the men they are today, and that's why they react the way they do. And Tay, like you were saying, um, him saying Shane for the first time, like I think, and I said this in my video, and honestly, when I said it, it did kind of make my chest hurt a bit. But I think going from we didn't even kiss to Shane running away, I think Shane felt safer when his feelings for Ilya wasn't reciprocated. Like
Facts.
when it felt unrequited, when it just felt like, oh, Ilya just wants this to be physical. I'm the only one who's looking for something a bit more. I can kind of convince myself that this isn't a possibility because it's just me who wants it. Whereas as soon as Ilya started kind of matching the energy and showing signs, like he was like, wait a fucking minute. That means I kind of have to confront what I'm feeling. And what I'm feeling is not heterosexual thoughts for this man. And it's not just physical. It's not just me physically wanting him. Like, I think even taking the sexuality or the sexuality crisis out of it, there's always going to be a bit of panic when something goes from a casual physical hookup to something that has romance and emotions attached to it. There's always going to be panic there. But then when you add in the sexuality crisis, it's so much scarier. So I think people wanting to blame Shane or Ilya are missing the point of the story that both of them are victims. They are the victims here. They are not the villains. And I think one, obviously they didn't read the books, but I think I also think just how US media specifically has trained us to look at relationships, especially like in queer media, that there is always a villain. Like, I know Wicked isn't explicitly queer, but people like to say,
Right.
it was definitely munching on something green, I think
Please.
um
Yeah.
like, people like to, people come to that conclusion, but like there's a reason why they can't be together that is beyond Glinda and Elfie. You know what I mean? So I think people just want a villain. And I think that kind of ruins the appeal of the story a bit. It's not Elena's fault. It's not Rose's fault. It's not Svetlana's fault. It's not Shane's fault. It's not Ilya's fault. It's really just society and them not feeling safe enough to just explore each other like any other regular people would.
I also think that like when we're talking about the point of like Shane or their idea that Shane was not knowing what he wanted, have y'all not ever experienced where like you want something so bad and you think that it's not a possibility, but then when it becomes like something happens and you think it's a possibility that like you're kind of like stage fright, like you're frozen in like deer in headlights type of thing? I feel like that was the same
Yeah.
thing. Like it was
Yeah.
something unattainable
Mhm.
before.
And now it feels like he can get it.
Now he feels like he can get it. And that's not even including all the other shit that was going on because baby didn't know he was gay at that point.
Right.
Like
Oh, poor Pookie. He
he
didn't
like it just
know. He
he
Please.
didn't
didn't
know.
know at that point. And so like I think that people are just missing the other pieces And like you said, Alex, they do want a villain, want somebody to blame in that, and it's just, I don't think there's anybody to blame. But like, there's a lot of things that they're missing with wanting to say that it was this person's fault or that person's fault. And somebody always want to pick somebody as their favorite because it's the person that they could see themselves dating, or it's the person that they see themselves as, and so they always want to find a reason as why it has to be the other person. And it's just like, no, they're not even to blame here. It's everything else, and it's also, I don't know. Some people just don't be thinking of, like, put your thinking caps on. Actually, critical thinking.
I
There's some other things at play here.
I also wonder, do they still think that after watching the final episode?
Mm,
Like, do they still have that same mindset? Because if you haven't read the books and you're just watching it for the first time, no prior knowledge of what the story is, I wonder if they still have that same idea that it's either Shane or Ilya's fault
yeah.
after watching the final episode, after having the full context of the story. I wonder if they still think that.
Mm,
It's also just important to note too, like they're both so young, and this is their first, like, obviously they weren't in a relationship then, but this is like their first serious long-term thing. Like neither one of them was really with nobody else like that. So I think that there's just like some growing pains you have to go through with your first serious partner. And I
Yeah.
wish more people would like realize that because they don't have it all together. They don't have all the answers. And then like with Ilya, like obviously him being Russian and him not being able to go home if he really confronts how he feels about Shane is always going to be such a big thing. And I feel like people always discount that because I feel like a lot of people are watching this show through a very 2020s American lens. And this was like, I mean, at that point in the timeline, where were we? It was still 2010, some
Yeah,
point.
so it's like 2015. Don't listen to me. I don't know.
I don't
I
know,
don't
but
know.
I
But
can't tell you.
like,
But it wasn't 2025, is my
it
point. So,
wasn't. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to go back to the conversation about there needing to be a villain. Alex, you made the video that I'm going to reference, but I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts on it too, about fandom and how the video
mm,
was specifically about how, the Heated Rivalry fandom is fairly demure compared to some of
Yeah.
the other
Yeah.
ones. Do you think because people grew up in the era of Edward versus Jacob or One Direction, like they feel like you have to pick one. You have to choose. One has to be better than the other. One has to be good. One has to be bad. One has to be the villain. Like, do you think that that has anything to do with why people struggle to experience TV media outside of that lens?
That's such a good like connection you just made. Like I never thought of it that way, but yeah, that makes perfect sense. 'Cause, yeah, even like, and I think probably because this isn't a love triangle,
mhm.
there's no one to, you know, pin each other against. So they're pinning themselves against, or I don't know what I'm saying, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. Like, I think the elimination of a love triangle makes it so where people are like, oh, well, he's the better one, or no, he's the better one. When in reality, it's like they would commit war crimes for each other. Like, I,
And would.
yeah, I think how that's actually a really good point. I never thought of like that connection to it. Yeah.
I think it definitely has a lot to do with it. Because I think in another fandom that we were all involved in, it's very normal for people to like pick a villain or pick a side with this person, this character's better, that one's better for this reason, yada yada yada. I think people like to argue on the internet. I'm not gonna lie. I think people love to also pick very controversial takes. Like it's what they do. I think it's a part of every fandom. Because like there's also arguments between who was the better brother in Supernatural. Like I
Yeah.
think that it's just a part of every fandom. Everybody always want to pick somebody, and this is my favorite character, and that's why yada yada yada. And like your point is lame about that. People love to yaya and rah rah on the internet, and I think that that's part of the reason of them picking between Shane and Ilya. Because I was over there on Twitter, and they was dragging, some people was dragging Ilya, some people dragging Shane, and I was just like, can we all just get along? Why we gotta choose each other? Mind you, if Ilya ever heard y'all talking shit about Shane the way y'all do, he would want to
Well,
fight.
on the stage, he
Right.
What are
tearing
you
everybody
talking
up.
about? Tearing
Right.
everybody up.
It's
Like,
on site, actually.
what do
Right.
you mean? Do you see? What do you mean? They like, come on. It's nobody has to be the bad person here. But I do, Tim, that was a very great connection and a great point. I think it's just every fandom. Like they always want to pick their favorite person, they always want to defend it, and like people get a kick out of thumb thugging on the internet. And so
I wonder if
yeah.
that's like also gotten worse in recent years because fandom has turned from people just talking about things they love for just the love of the game. Like people would just make a blog on Tumblr because they loved One Direction, because they loved Justin Bieber, Twilight, whatever. But it went because Tumblr went away, or not went away. I mean, I'm still on Tumblr, but it's not as popular as it was. But I think everyone migrated to Twitter and TikTok and Instagram, and those are apps that people like engagement bait on. You know what I mean? Like they are constantly looking for a viral moment, even if it's just viral within their community. They're looking for engagement. And I think like even when you compare like Tumblr, people wanted engagement, but not engagement in the sense of like, oh, I want to get the most notes on this post.
Yeah.
Or it was more like, no, I just want someone to kind of like send me an ask and I'll respond. Like that was the type of engagement because Tumblr, your follower account was private. You can make a lot of your engagement private. I think a huge part of it is that people know discourse feeds engagement. So when they make a crazy ass post saying, well, actually, uh, Eddie's abusive to Buck, they know that's gonna feed people because it's like
You
that's such a
know,
fucking insane and stupid ass take. Why would you even
That's
insinuate like
crazy.
what like how like that's so stupid. They know it will trigger people to respond, and that in turn gives them more engagement. And they'll even find some people who are stupid enough to agree with them. So I think the shift in social media also is a reason why fandom culture has shifted because everyone's looking for that viral moment. And I think that isn't a, I think fandom culture hasn't escaped that. Like everyone wants that viral moment. They want the viral tweet. They want the viral TikTok. Where don't get me wrong, on Tumblr, people definitely wanted people, still wanted their posts, to do numbers or something. But my experience with Tumblr, it was very much like you just posted for shits and giggles. Like it was not as structured or as intentional as Twitter or TikTok is or Instagram even.
Yeah, and I also think just like to Tay's point earlier too, like a lot of people like to self-insert, so they see themselves in one character, or they're like, "Oh, Ilya is my man, so obviously Shane's the devil," and it's like, "No, that's actually Shane, man." You know what I'm saying? Like I
Right.
be
that's his
joking about
man.
that, but that's actually Shane Hollander's man. And so I think people just they see it as a personal attack, even when you're literally talking about the show. Like they
Yeah.
see attacks on Ilya as like you're talking to them personally when you don't even know that person. And then also, Alex, you and I have had this conversation as well. Like with the shift to Twitter, not only are people just trying to get intention or attention just in general, they're also trying to get attention from the source material. So I feel
Yeah.
like that also causes people to act up because now they want Rachel to see what they got to say. They want Jacob Tierney to see what they got to say. They want the boys to comment on what they're saying. And it's like, no, actually keep that right here because now y'all are just saying anything with the intention of rage baiting, and that's not what fandom is supposed to be for.
Yeah. Yeah. People wanting the source material to engage is a huge problem in fandom. A huge problem. Like a huge fucking problem in fandom. Like it is
Huge.
worst, easily one of the worst things to come out of like I would say that shift in fandom in the 20 after 2020,
Mhm.
people wanting the source. Now, granted, Twitter, one of the biggest appeals of Twitter when it first came out was that you could directly tweet a celebrity and they could respond to you. They could see it. You could tweet Justin Bieber and he could respond. Like you were seeing celebrities beef with regular people. I mean, Ariana Grande was beefing with that girl who ate a tampon. Like there are so many like there you just had that opportunity that was never given before. The same when Instagram allowed you to send DMs to anyone. You could DM celebrities. There's a chance they would see it and respond.
Good
So,
luck booking that stage you speak
Good
right.
luck booking that stage you speak
Right.
of.
Like it just we got it opened up a door to celebrities that we never previously had. So I think when fandom accounts popped up on Twitter specifically, that I think in one ways it is good because yeah, you know I think a lot of artists and actors like their fan accounts to a certain extent. Like, oh, this page is like dedicated to me. They're very respectful. They just post like, oh, they loved my outfit, or oh, this, I'm doing this. Like those pages, I think do a good job of balancing, I just love this. I love this celebrity, but I'm not a fucking weirdo about it. Versus the people, and I think we lost the plot when update accounts started becoming to the minute. Like update accounts went from, oh, update Zendaya starring in these movies in 2026 to, oh, Zendaya was seen here at 3:04 p.m. in London next to Tom Holland in this barista. Like it got way too specific and at some points
Yeah.
dangerous. Like One Direction was getting mobbed. K-pop stars get mobbed. Justin Bieber, like it just became a bit too crazy. Like I think social media has done a lot of great things for fandom, like more good than bad. But some of the bad things, I'm just like, everyone needs to calm the fuck down. Everyone,
Yeah, everybody.
deep breath and let it out.
Yes.
Another scene though that we gotta talk about in episode 4. The club scene. I'm sorry. I got it up here for a reason. Actually.
Love
One
it.
of the things that will forever send me over the edge is how each one of them saw somebody that runs in the other person's circle and immediately said my man's is in the building. Searching eyes, not giving a fuck about who they're actually with. Oh, and I'm sorry. I enjoyed that. I did. I said, you know what? I love that for y'all. It's kind of like that scene. I know y'all don't watch anime, but everybody else in the comments that watch anime, it gives the scene where Gojo literally smelled Gato in the air.
What?
Okay.
That's
Say that for me one more time, sister.
right. Run that back one more time.
So in JJK Jujutsu Kaisen, there are two characters that we ship together real bad. Suguru Gato and Satoru Gojo. And there's a scene where Gojo is in a building that Gato was literally just in. He sniffs the air and looks directly at the spot that man was sitting in. You smelled your man's in the air and knew where he was. That club scene, that's
Down
what
bad. Down horrendous.
bad.
So
That's what they call.
So they're not a couple in the show.
They're not they're not a couple.
So
They're
what
not a
is
couple at all.
Are they? Is it romance or is
No,
it
this is an action anime. This
What
is
is the context? Why was he smelling him in the
right?
air?
What is the
Is he hunting
heterosexual
him?
reasoning?
What was the purpose?
what was the purpose? Okay.
No,
So
like, I need the information.
I'm so sick. Y'all, if y'all want to break into anime, please watch it because I love it. But basically, they fight cursed spirits. Each one of them have like a special technique, and so they go to this special school to be trained to fight cursed spirits that regular humans cannot see. When they both went to this school together, and then Gojo has remained at the school and is now a teacher and fights for the good people, but Gato ends up switching sides in the end. So the reason why he's in that building where Gato used to be is because Gato is now doing is the villain, and he's doing things, setting things up, and they're basically fighting against each other when they used to be best friends when they were at this school, and they did everything together, and like
Friends to enemies to lovers is the ship.
yeah, basically. Or even like lovers to enemies, because most people like put them together before they broke up. But like there are some things that happen in it that that really give y'all are in love with each other. In particular, you smelling that man in the air. And then
That's crazy.
at another point, he also he smells him again. But it's there's a lot of things to that last one. But he comes up behind him, and Gojo senses that it's him behind him before seeing him or anything. So you want them bad, but that's what they're seeing.
That's Shane and Ilya for sure.
It's them for sure.
Sweet.
And yeah, I was like, oh, okay, but like so, like, yeah, I for y'all that have watched JJK, tell me that that's not them. Like that's not him smelling his man in the air. Like that was crazy to me. Because also, Ilya, why do you know what Rose's friends look like? You were scouring the internet, weren't you? How you know?
he was scrolling through Rose's Instagram.
Bad.
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 Oh, torturing themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Speaking
Like,
that's
of speaking of
oh,
the club scene, very quickly, one, we cannot move from the club scene without talking about tattoo. So we'll come back to that.
yeah,
Do you think this was intentional? This scene right here?
it was, but I
Because some
also
people were saying it was intentional and some people were saying it was an inconsistency because they were like, well, he's not gay here. So like shouldn't this have been a bigger deal than it was? Like why did they do this if like he's supposed to be straight in this episode at least?
honestly, I looked at it as Shane's awkward as shit and probably just didn't know what to do. Like
He
he
is
was
on the spectrum,
yeah,
you
like
know.
that they literally introduced his character. The announcers say, yeah, he's really socially awkward, but man, is he great on the ice. Like that's
uh,
the fucking intro to the show. Like I genuinely just took, 'cause especially since Shane didn't acknowledge him, like not once. I
yeah,
just took it as he was dancing with Rose and Miles. Honestly, Miles was being kind of a little fucking weird, if I'm being honest, but
yeah,
got up behind him.
That was crazy.
Yeah, and Shane just again awkward was just like, okay, like I guess this is what boyfriends do when they're with their girlfriends, friend, and they're dancing at the club. Like I guess this is what they do. Especially since in the next episode, that when Rose mentions Miles, he like he doesn't quickly reveal that he knows, or he's just a bit hesitant to acknowledge that Miles is gay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I didn't really think too much of it. I was just thinking that was awkward. He didn't know what to do. He was just like, okay, this is what boyfriends do when they're with their girlfriends and girlfriends' friends.
Hmm.
because I don't think he doesn't read social cues, so I don't think that he took it as anything. I also think that at the point that like Miles really gets on his back, did he not already see Cliff? Because I know Miles brings the drink and then you show them start to dance. But at the point that Miles actually gets on his back, that's the point that Shane is already about to leave, like about to say that he's about to go. So I think at that point he also was occupied. And I think he doesn't read social cues. And then he's also already occupied with my man, my alpha is in this club.
His alpha ain't in a club, is he?
Like
And
at
Mhm.
that's
that
exactly what
point,
it gave. That's exactly what the fuck
yes,
it gave.
that's what it gave. I don't think he gave a fuck about Miles, and I honestly don't think that he ever. I can't remember in the books or whatever. I don't know if he ever gave a fuck about Miles being gay. I don't think he thought much of it. I just like he
Yeah.
he he be bad at that, realizing other people and stuff. He be bad at that, and so I
I
don't
knew
think he
that.
thought
There was
it.
a lot going on. There was a lot going on.
A
Like,
Miles was
lot
that
going
though.
on.
especially
Miles was weird.
I think Miles was the weird one in that
Miles was
situation.
weird.
Like it was just odd because I'm like, that's your friend's boyfriend,
And
your
you rubbing
female
up on
friend's
him.
boyfriend, where as far as you know, he is straight. Oh, you just hit your head. And you just
Okay.
Or Charlie.
you
That's
just
sweet, baby.
the whole table just shook for a second. You okay? Um, yeah, I think Miles was kind of the weird one in that situation. That was just odd. And also big risk for Miles, because again, as far as he knew, Shane was straight.
Yeah, and a hockey player at that point.
Like,
And a
I'm
hockey
sorry,
player.
but
Could knock your shit loose. What?
True.
Right. Like, because I know if a man started dancing up behind me, what the fuck are you doing? But
yeah, Shane should have hit him low key.
Smacked him. Also, Rose, you was kind of okay to it. Okay with it too. Do y'all just be doing this on the regular? Like it. What's
now,
going on here? What's
hot
going
take,
on?
I think Rose is already starting to suspect Shane at this
Yeah.
point.
I
Yeah.
think so
Yeah.
too.
Testing the waters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she was trying to see what will Shane's reaction be.
Yeah.
And
They set it up.
I think this was her very carefully trying to just gauge his reaction on that. I think she was already starting to suspect something. And then when they went home that night, that confirmed it. He was like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I that's what I thought was
Let me
going
go
on.
And
ahead
then
and
she
sponsor
also
his
kept going
conversation.
though.
Hmm?
What you say, Tim?
So let me go ahead and slide you Miles' number.
Yeah. But at that point also, so like I could get behind that, but then she continued because like, Rose and Shane dated for like 3 months.
Mhm.
This was earlier in their relationship, right? At that point, if this was a test and then you slept with him and that confirmed it for you that night, they slept together again after that. Because in the beginning of the next episode, he's apologizing to her for the previous night. Why was we doubling back, baby girl? Because that wasn't the.
Because
I
they
don't
only
think it
slept
was,
together twice in the books.
yes, but I don't think that was like the same night. I think
No,
one
it wasn't the
started
same
fifth.
night. I think the first time they slept together, he was just like, "Oh, I'm drunk. It's
Right. She had to be sure.
sick. Like I can't. It's just a fluke." And the second time, so they tried it again, and the same shit
It
happened.
still wasn't working.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't have kept it going. I get it though. I get it, and I love Rose now. Loved her character.
you
Love
know
her
the
character.
saying: once is an accident, twice is a coincidence, three times is a pattern.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I
Oh,
think she
yeah.
just skipped that third time. She said, "We
Yeah.
don't need
This
to
is
take
I've
it."
seen all I need to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do think that Miles was weird though. I'm not gonna lie to you because even
yeah,
I don't know. I don't be if you suspecting, there's a reason you suspecting. I don't need to confirm that for you. You go do that yourself. I don't. That's
yeah.
like me, my friend, thinking that like yeah, and employing me to test. I'm not doing that.
No.
Love you, sister. Love you. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
It
But
sounds crazy.
It
yeah,
was just an odd scene. Like I will say, that was a odd. Like they could have removed it and we would have been fine. Like it
Oh,
wasn't necessary,
absolutely.
but I didn't hate it. But it was very much like first time I watched it, I was caught up in the moment. Second time I watched it, I was like, why are we doing this?
yeah.
It was very strange, and I feel like that was definitely like Rose and Miles' little plan. She was like, "Dance on my man and see what he do.
They set it up. It was a
See what
scheme
he
set up by
do."
Todd. It was a scheme set up by Todd. They set it
Right.
That's
all up.
funny.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying. Cause that's why I'm like, cause y'all were like, "Oh, like he don't know if Shane is gay," and he don't. But I think him and Rose was kind of like,
Right.
Yeah.
"We gonna find out. This is how we gonna find out," which is a
Yeah.
crazy way to do it, but
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
because
Yeah.
that could have gone sideways
Yeah.
fast.
The
But
Yeah.
Really
reaction
sad.
would have been telling though, because like if
Yeah.
he blows up and goes off on you, like, oh, I don't like that,
I don't like that at all.
So like maybe the reaction either way would have
Mhm.
confirmed something.
Yeah.
And again, he is on the spectrum.
I
We
don't
like
think they know that though.
now. Come on now. If you interacting with, come on now. She was
He
all
said,
up
"Be
and personal.
serious."
She was all up and personal with that man. She know he was on the spectrum. There's no way that she didn't. Shane was not like. Come on. She
Again,
knew.
they introduced him to the show. He's real awkward, but he's great on the ice.
No way she didn't know that. No
I
way
So
think
she didn't know that.
awkward.
I think
My
they even said like
baby.
you said he's not the best in social situations, but he's great
He's
on
not
the
the
ice.
most
Yes,
sociable.
he's not the most
Right.
sociable.
They aired that man out first 5 minutes of the show.
And they
Gotta be,
commentators.
gotta be some kind
Right.
of
That's his
HIPAA violation
girlfriend.
or
It's
something.
gotta be a HIPAA
Some
violation.
kind of violation of some
Gotta
kind.
be.
You
But
knew that
yeah,
man was on the spectrum.
all the things she said, good
Ah,
inclusion.
She said,
10 out of 10.
It was
ah.
it was unexpected, but
Yeah.
not unpleasantly so. I absolutely loved it. A lot of people have been calling out the parallels at the end, specifically like how it seemed to be very intentional how they were lining up the shots with the words of the song, specifically like this is not enough, like I that's one of the things I love about Jacob Tierney. It seems like every single thing that he does is intentional, which I do have a question about that because I'm curious if something was intentional. But all the things she said, great choice.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
11 out of 10. Actually, no, 12 out of 10.
Yeah. And I do think that they lined
Yeah.
it up perfectly with the words because I also think that like that's been the norm throughout the show, not necessarily with the needle drops, but the way in which they edit the shots together, intentional with the parallels, intentional with the things that they show in the time montages. That's been the pattern throughout the entirety of the show. And so I wasn't surprised with it, but I was pleasantly pleased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love
Let's
that song.
I would have never guessed that song.
Ooh.
Like, to be honest, like
never.
when the song played, I didn't even know I knew the song. But as soon as it started playing, like I knew the words. And after that, I was
Yeah.
like, how the fuck do I know this song? Like I could not tell you the last time I listened to that song before that episode. Like it must be in some coming of age movie from way back when. Like, because I have no recollection of
I
ever
definitely.
hearing that song, but I
Oh,
knew
I
the
love that
words.
song. Oh, I love
Like,
it. When it came out that those girls weren't really lesbians, that was like Watergate. That was like that
Remember
that
that.
shook the community, okay? I was like, "Oh, you must be lying. You must be lying. They've been together for years. They definitely were not."
that's crazy.
Yeah. Apparently he brought it up, Connor Story, in like an interview or
Yeah,
something,
he
to
did.
like
Yeah.
offhandedly mention the song, and they also didn't know that it was going to be in it. But it was a
Oh,
good choice.
such a good choice.
But intentionality. I saw a lot of people talking about this after, and again, Jacob Tierney, very intentional. So I don't know if this was actually the intent or if maybe just the audience like drew this conclusion. Do you think the ginger ale thing was intentional? How people were
Ah,
saying Shane could not get ginger ale anywhere, and the one place he was able to get it, he didn't have to ask for it, and that was with Ilya. Do you think that that was like an intentional connection that they wanted people to make?
yes, and the reason why I think it was intentional because he got the ginger ale first. Like he was
Yes.
with
Hmm.
Ilya first, and he got the ginger ale first. And after he ran away, he was unhappy with all of his what he could get. Like he couldn't get what he wanted after he left Ilya. I think if they would have flipped it and had him not being able to get ginger ale, and then he's with Ilya, and then he gets the ginger ale, it would have told a bit of a different message. But him getting the ginger ale, getting a sun, what he wants with Ilya at Ilya's house, happy, peaceful, getting it on, getting freaky. But then the second he leaves and runs away, he cannot get what he wants, and he is constantly disappointed. Also, in one of the scenes in that episode when he's asking for the ginger ale, when he's at lunch or whatever with his parents, you notice the empty chair.
I was gonna bring up that point. That was gonna be my point.
The
There's
Mm.
no-
empty chair, I noticed it, and because they make a point to say, "Will anyone else be joining us?"
yes.
And that empty chair is right there. And then if you look at episode one, where they're at lunch or something, was that episode one when they were talking about the
I
YouTube
think
spirals? That episode
One
one,
or two.
one
yeah,
or two.
yeah,
I
one of
think
the first two episodes. They don't ask that question, and
mm-mm.
the way it's set up, Shane's not sitting in a booth; his parents are. So there's no extra seat there. I just think, yeah, I absolutely think it was intentional. I think it was
You
intentional. I
see
think,
when the
yeah.
chair is filled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that
Yep.
was
Because
one. That was
episode
one.
6, we see when, yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Like
Episode six.
it just
yep.
everything is intentional with like because some of the videos that I make are about the parallels in the show. I think every single one of them are intentional. So I absolutely think that Ginger Ale was intentional. I think that this show does a very good job or an amazing job of telling us things without telling us things. Like the subtlety of things. Like every time that we rewatch it, there's something else that we missed and that we get and like that also tells a little bit more of the story from like them sitting so far apart from each other and then by the end they together from the parallels on the beach scene they're so far apart together with the sunset in the end like there are a lot of parallels that were also telling a story alongside what we were verbally in getting in the story, and that's from like episode 1 all the way to 6.
That's real storytelling right there. These
Like
other shows don't have that, but my show does.
my show does. Like, I also think it shows how intentional Jacob was when bringing the book to the show. Like, because if you were to ask me, first of all, I listened to the book. I haven't read it, not Heated Rivalry. I need to actually read it, but I want a physical copy so I can take notes. But I don't recall half of the parallels that appear in the show that were in the book.
Yeah.
Um, and I think Jacob did a great job of like connecting that consistent thread. And there's so many different things you can look at, different small little things that you can look at that show the evolution of how close Shane and Ilya are getting.
Yeah. I also think that what I really, really love is that it's shown to me that these things are intentional. There are other shows that we've watched, that we've consumed, that do things that we assume are intentional, and then they're never fleshed out. They're like, it's kind of like we get to the end and we're just like, okay, well, what was the point of this? What was the point of that? I never got to the end of this show and was like, what was the point of that? What was the point of this? There was
Never.
always a reason or an intentionality to anything that they put in front of us. And that I ate the fuck up.
Yeah. It's almost like when people care about their story, they make it good. When people respect their audience and think of their audience as intelligent people consuming this media,
Yeah.
they respect what they're making. It's crazy how that works. Like it's so rare to see where people like their audience, and don't think of their audience as some stupid fucking idiots. Who would have thought? I didn't know that was a thing anymore.
That's
Yeah.
rare air right there.
It is.
Rare air.
We don't know nothing about that.
We don't know nothing about that. Yeah. Do y'all have any other thoughts about episodes 3 and 4?
I'm sure I do. I'll have never ending thoughts, but
There's
It was
always
the
thoughts about it.
it was
always.
Yeah.
great. It was the shift in the Hollanov energy.
Yeah. It that episode 4 hit so incredibly hard because we had those first 2 episodes and then Skip, and then it was like we were fiending. Like I felt rabid waiting for episode 4. And then when it finally hit, it was like the biggest fucking line. Like it was
Thank
such a
God this
good.
show ain't monetized.
The whole check would have went right out the window right
Right. Like
there.
would have had to cut that shit out. But it hit so hard, episode 4. Like it was a great episode. I mean, every single episode of this show though has been phenomenally well done.
Absolutely.
It has. It has. Although we could yap about this show for the rest of eternity, and actually, we really do, y'all. We talk about this show a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
yes.
yeah, it's wormed our brains. But I think that's gonna wrap our press play for this episode. We're gonna move into our two takes for this episode. That is the segment where we give our two takes. They can be popular, they can be unpopular, they can really just be anything that we want to say and share with y'all. In the first episode, or the first episode of this series, the Heated Rivalry series, we did in fact let our guests take over the two takes segment. And I think it's only right that we allow them to do this again. So, Alex, I know you got one locked and loaded. I know you got one locked and loaded. So, I'm going
Go
to
ahead,
to
sister.
you.
Let's hear it.
So my hot take is, and this is not specific to Heated Rivalry, but I've been thinking about it more since Heated Rivalry popped up. But my hot take is that I think fan fiction, specifically AO3 becoming mainstream, is going to cause us so many fucking problems, and I hate it. I AO3's always been popular. Like I think a lot of people think of AO3 as like this niche thing. But there's a reason why they always earn whatever they're fundraising for in like 6 minutes. They be past their goal.
Yeah.
There's I think there's like 16 million fics on that site. Like there's nothing niche about AO3. Like at the same time though, there are a lot of people who don't know about it. I think the issue is that people are not getting their fan fiction training wheels. People aren't starting out on Wattpad anymore. They're not starting off on Tumblr, reading posts, writing posts, writing little fics. They're not on, I mean, fanfiction.net been dead, but you know what I mean? They're not getting their training wheels in how to engage with fan fiction specifically, whether it's reading it, whether it's writing it. And I think that is causing so many problems. There's a level of entitlement that comes from people who are just readers. Like, I'm just a reader, but I do remember to leave a kudos, I'll leave a little comment, even if it's just me saying, loved this, thank you. Like you gotta engage, because people who make any sort of fan content are truly doing it for the love of the game. But I think because AO3 is becoming more and more mainstream, it's creeping up to becoming more mainstream. I see more videos of like the search on TikTok, the blue search words are what is AO3. I'm seeing TikTok accounts that are dedicated to just recommended fics in certain fandoms, Twitter accounts doing the same thing. And back in the 2000s, we had library Tumblr blogs like the stericlibrary.tumblr.com. I think people are starting to look for virality as a writer for fan fiction. And I think that's going to become a problem because you can't, because fan fiction's in a gray area. It's been to court. There's been so many court cases about it. And with brands like Quinn putting a screenshot of a fic in their TikTok, did they ask the author? Did they even leave a kudos on the fic? You know what I mean? Like, did they even, take their shoes off before coming in and robbing that person's home? Like, I think AO3 truly needs to make it so where you actually can't see shit if you don't have an account.
Valid. Valid.
I
Have
agree
to
with that.
agree. Yeah. And I think that there is a specific anxiety about when things become popular that invites gatekeeping and censorship and trying to accommodate outsiders, and I think that as the popularity grows, like there is a real anxiety about, things being policed and sanitized in a way to make outsiders who just joined this community feel more comfortable, even though there have been hundreds, thousands, millions of people enjoying this community exactly the way that it is for years.
I'm truly terrified of a court case popping up. And think of like this current administration
Yeah.
dealing with a case on fan fiction because it's already gone to federal court about the fucking Omegaverse and Supernatural. Like they've already been to court over that. And I can't imagine that going to court over like a judge who's appointed by our current administration. You know what I mean? And all it takes is one situation like what's going on at the University of Oklahoma or is it Ohio? Oklahoma? It's Oklahoma, right?
I think it's Oklahoma. One of
Yeah,
those things.
the University of Oklahoma, what's going on over there, their whole accreditation as a university is about to be questioned. But all because one person had a problem and didn't respect the process that was set. Um, and now it's this whole issue. Everyone's fucked because of this one person. It's only going to take one person to get mad at something about AO3, get mad that it's not censored, mad that there's, a tag that's about something that's illegal. And they're
Right.
going to be like, this shouldn't be a thing. Some parents going to see their child on it and find out they're reading some shit
Lord Jesus.
and it's gonna turn into a whole thing. And when I tell y'all, I have to like not think about it. Like this keeps me up at night because I'm like, if they take my sight away from me, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be pissed. Like I don't like having so many eyes on it in this climate. If we was back in 2000, 11, sure. Sure. But this not 2011 and we're not under President Obama. Like it is a much different vibe out here and we are in treacherous times. It's scary out here. I don't need anyone from the current administration looking at AO3.
And
No.
Tress brought it up last episode that like we are in the era of conservative media. And like
Yes.
for a lot of people, this space is their outlet away from that, right? So I mean you probably weren't joking, but like if it were to go away, like I know that there are a lot of people who will be crashing out 40 days and 40
Absolutely.
nights because what else do they have? Myself included, right? Like,
Right.
because what else is there?
I
Like,
need me a little thick before I go to bed every day. What are we talking about? Like it's going to,
That's
it's
literally my melatonin is a
it's
thing before
literally how
bed.
it's how I
what?
decompress. It's how I've
Yes.
decompressed for years. Like literally before I would have like my hospital stays, I would make sure I had my fix downloaded before getting on a plane. My fix are downloaded. Like
Downloaded.
Downloaded. Yes.
I'm
Like
more
on my
concerned about making
Kindle.
sure the fic is downloaded on my phone than the fact that I'm about to be pumped up with fluids for the next 7 days. Like you got to have your priorities, but I'm like I cannot imagine a world where we don't have fan fiction. I'm so sorry.
No.
Like,
I hate to be the person that, like, obviously we don't be like wanting to gatekeep things, but I think there are some things that like there should be a
Gotta
certain
gatekeep.
like you got to gatekeep, but there's also should be a certain expectation. Like when you're dabbling into these cultures or like these precedences that and like I think AO3 is one of those. For the
Yep.
people that just hop on there and just think like I'm gonna just post this to, I don't know, go viral with it, or just like not wanting to respect that like it is an archive. There are tags for a reason. Like there's a system here. It's not just like willy-nilly, and like nobody's telling you it just to like be mean or be rude. Like this is the way in which it is used. These are the pointers like to help you. It's not like to hurt your feelings. Like it's just like it's been around for a while. You're new here. I don't know. I think with anything, because like before I got on there and I was posting anything, or like I was diving into a lot of them, like, oh, reading tags, figuring out, okay, this is how it should be posted. This is what I need to tag it as. The other point that I also want to make is that the point of censorship. Um, I will always die on the hill of it being a slippery slope. It starts in one place, it's gonna roll snowball into something that's going to censor everything. Like it's honestly just going to be wiped, period. Like while I do, but that's also the point in tags. You don't have to see the things that you don't want to see. There's
people don't know
filters
what an
on the
archive
app.
is. They
You
don't know what an
like
archive is. That's really what it comes down to. They don't know what the fucking archive is.
no.
Like, and I think AO3 is like one of the last forms of like old internet that's still
Yeah.
kicking, where you
Yeah.
actually have to work to find what you're looking for. It's not just
Yes.
served up to you. Mind you, the work is just putting in exactly what you're looking for. Like, I'm
Is
like,
there
if you can manage Chat GPT and type in, hey, I want this, it's essentially doing the same shit. You just say,
yes.
I want hurt comfort. I want da, 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 all these things. Like, it,
Exactly.
it makes no sense the way people, but also, I learned how to use AO3 through Tumblr. Tumblr and AO3 pretty much they go
Went hand
together
in
like peanut
hand.
butter and jelly.
Yeah.
Like
Here it is.
people not on Tumblr anymore. They're jumping straight from Twitter into AO3.
And
Like,
that's the
not
problem with fandom. There's no Tumblr. We need to,
Yep.
I mean, it's
need
still there,
that.
but folks not there.
Yeah.
Folks need to go back over there, get their training wheels, learn how to ride the bike on their own. Then they can go to Twitter. But
Mhm.
they think they too grown.
Tumblr
Okay.
used to
It's
be
a
the
sense of
entry point.
entitlement.
Tumblr used
Yeah.
to be
Which
the
is
entry point for fandom,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
not
Like
anymore.
you find a new fandom, you find an artist you like, you find a band, a TV show, an actor. First thing I did was search Tumblr, search their name on
Tumblr.
Tumblr. What blogs? Like if I wanted like literally I there were so many library blogs that used to just like collect all of the fics within a certain ship or fandom, and you would just search through that library, and they would have dozens of fics just listed with little descriptions, little ratings. I loved those blogs. If you ran a Tumblr library blog for any fandom, you
Kudos to
deserve a
you.
Nobel Peace Prize. Like you deserve all the awards, actually. Like that
You do actually. Yeah.
yeah, like those, yeah, they should be working at like the like Library of Congress.
Well,
Mm.
yes.
Y'all remember Clubhouse? Was that a COVID thing?
Oh, I
I
do.
can't
That
tell
was a COVID thing. For
you.
I
me, it was
wish I
COVID.
wish that AO3 was that way, invite only.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
Well,
oh,
yeah.
I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like so where you can't even get in.
Right.
Like you can't see
Like you
nothing. You
couldn't
just
get into Clubhouse unless
yeah,
you got an invite from somebody who
yeah,
was already in Clubhouse. And
Yeah.
yeah.
even then, they only had a certain number of invites to give out.
And I
Yeah.
think it should be if someone sends you an invite and that person like ends up getting reported or something, your invite should get removed.
You gotta go through.
Like
Because why are you
dead
friends
ass,
with
like
them?
right, because like you need to be responsible for people, like because I have never sent an invite on AO3, never, because one, no, you're gonna have to wait, Pookie, just like everybody else. I'm sorry if you're not patient enough to wait, it's not for you.
You don't need to
It's
be here.
not.
It's
Mm-mm.
just also the sense of entitlement. We probably need to go to the next take, but it's also the sense of entitlement for the people that get on there. And then, like, when people try to give you pointers on how to work it because it's obvious that you did not go do your research. And then you
Yeah,
get mad at the people that are trying to help you. That's gatekeep it. Gatekeep
I
it.
love gatekeeping.
You know,
My hair. I posted that on TikTok because she be braiding hair butt length braids for $200.
ah,
I'm not telling nobody about her.
so keep that on
Well,
lock.
tell me, sister, because when I visit my
Look,
daddy, I'm gonna get her chair.
look,
Right.
I'll cut this part out.
Right. But you can keep in the part where I said I believe in gatekeeping because I do. I think
I
black people
do.
need to gatekeep more. I think everyone in certain cultures need to gatekeep their shit.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Like I hate the fact that people I saw someone say that unk meant uncool.
What? No, it
Right.
meant
Now,
like it
see,
Like like one of my coworkers, I remember one time he said, "Oh, dab me up." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, like he dabbed me up." And I was like, I don't know what that is. Like I wasn't even trying to be funny. He was like, like he was like, like dab me up.
dapped me up.
I was like, oh, I didn't correct him.
No,
No, I
of
want
course
to
not.
still
Of
sound
course
like
not.
I didn't
Of course
correct
not.
him, but I was just like, oh,
That,
right. He was like, yeah, you didn't know what that was. I was like, no, my fault. I didn't know. I didn't know what that was. Like, no, I didn't correct him though. Go ahead, keep sounding like a
no,
fucking idiot, talking about shit you don't know
That's the problem. Letting everybody in the gates and you start slamming it in their fucking face.
and locking it.
facts,
Like, mm.
All right.
facts.
Cake number two. Dress.
Cash, you got a pick?
Yay! Okay.
Yes.
So, I don't have any hot takes.
That's
I
cool.
have a very, very popular take.
Okay.
Okay.
And that is, and this is gonna sound so drama, but I think Heated Rivalry is amazing. And I'm so glad that we got this show because I think that this is really going to cause a lot of showrunners to hopefully sit with themselves and realize maybe people aren't stupid. And I'm not even just trying to throw shade at that one program, but it's like I think a lot of these showrunners nowadays are just so concerned with, oh, I got a job. And they're not worried about the story that they're telling. They're not even trying to tell a cohesive story. They're like, let me just put something on the air for this week. Okay, let me do it again next week. But I think like what Jacob Tierney did with this show was like, as we've been saying, everything is intentional. Everything connects in some way. And I'm hoping that, even if we still got to deal with these little bitty ass 6, 8 episode seasons, television, I hope that we'll start to get good TV again
Yeah.
because of this. Because I mean, look at the way that people have responded to this show, and kind of like we were saying last week, like it's folks that I know that don't even watch scripted television, reality TV only, and even they're watching this and they're on AO3 and they're dialed in a way I've never seen because it's good TV. You know what I'm saying? Like we joke, oh our show, but we actually not joking. We actually serious. Like, and we're people who love TV down. We watch good television, we watch bad television, we just watching television. And so I really hope that this is a cultural turning point for TV because I'm actually like very concerned about like the current state of television. So I think this was just such a treat. And I know that's a popular opinion. I know that's not a hot take or nothing, but I've just really been thinking a lot about that. Like I think this is so good for so many reasons.
Yeah, there's a Seth Rogen quote where he says, "You're only one weekend away from a movie changing Hollywood." And I think the same goes like you're only one TV show away, one episode away from something changing Hollywood. And I
Mhm.
think Heated Rivalry. Now, the question is, how will it change Hollywood? Will it change Hollywood? Because I know we talk about we're in conservative age, but that also typically breeds a renaissance, you know?
Yeah.
So it's also possible for art to get a lot more free, and a bit more creative with the storytelling. And I think the question is going to be, is Hollywood going to look at Heated Rivalry and are they going to start thinking the same things we're thinking? Hire based off chemistry, look for fresh faces, stop with the Nepo babies, give us diverse love stories, and give us storytelling that's intentional, right? And maybe adapt more love stories from books, right? Or are they going to look at Heated Rivalry and say, they want more hockey romance. Like they actually just want more hockey. They want to see hockey. Yeah, because there's also that show coming out on Amazon. It's a hockey series, another hockey
Oh,
romance.
the campus or whatever.
Yeah, off campus.
I
And
can see that.
yeah, that one I knew about that one before I knew about Heated Rivalry becoming a TV
Same.
show. But I wasn't interested in the books, not at all.
Hetero or is it?
Mhm.
I think
Uh,
it is.
I was asking, was it hetero?
Very much so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm interested to see like what Hollywood takes from Heated Rivalry
Yeah.
and replicates and keeps going.
I did want to say that, like, my little point on that, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I love when people use their power how it's supposed to be used. I don't like when showrunners feel like they could just do anything and everything because they have the power to do so, and they don't want to listen to the fans or listen to the audience in which their show is consumed. And so I think that Jacob did a very good job of using the power that he had to make a great show and also to make one that fans would love. And that's fans of the books, but also just fans that would be viewing it for the first time, not knowing anything about the series.
I agree.
I hope that it has them shaken. You know,
And
I hope that
It should.
it reminds them all that no matter how long your show has been running, don't ever think you're bigger than the program because somebody else can and will come along.
And shit on you.
Exactly. Because
Like,
I mean, I hate to keep going back to that program, but if it aired Thursdays at the same time as that program, listen, they would have been
Somebody watching that slot.
they would have been
Oh!
fucking sick. Like I hope that it is a reminder to showrunners, creators that like just because your show is popular, was popular once, you can't rely on that. Because
right.
eventually the magic wears off, the appeal wears off, and something new, fun, hot, and sexy will come along and snatch that spot from you.
And
Absolutely.
I think when it comes to like I'm gonna just say it because I'll be forgetting to say the other show. 911 is that because really, if I was to compare Heated Rivalry to any show on television right now, in terms of quality, I would compare it to Interview with the Vampire. Like that is the only show on television right now that is coming close, and it's not even coming close. Like they're neck and neck, and like they are right there with each other. But I think 911 specifically because of the buddy of it all. Like so many people are rooting for those two to be together and have been for years.
Yeah.
And I think because we've even heard the actor say the fans aren't crazy. We see what you see. The story is there and they keep going away from it. Like they keep running in the opposite direction. And that's really where it gets like, okay, what the fuck am I watching for? Because not only are you running away from a story that everyone's acknowledging, the actors, the fans, like, I don't know who else, and clearly the writers based on some of the shit that's happening, but y'all would rather run from it and make less sense as a way as a gotcha to the audience. Oh, you thought they were gonna get together? Psych, we're gonna bring back a
And
doppelganger of his dead
it's
wife.
specifically the running away after you baited the audience with
Yep.
the
Yes.
BuzzFeed and the interviews and the this and
Yes.
like after you have already set it up that oh maybe this is happening, then you run away
And you take it away. Yeah.
over and
It's
over again at that. Like it wasn't just one
Yeah.
or two times. It's like
Right.
every couple of
It's
seasons.
been like 5 times or more at this point.
Yeah.
Right. And it's honestly just insulting to the audience at a certain point because it's like, well, if you would rather just keep dangling it in my face, I'd rather see, because clearly the people who want Buddy, a large portion of them really like the slow burn element of it. And while granted, Heated Rivalry happened in 6 episodes that took place over a length of time, I mean,
It was over a decade.
yeah, so I'm like, there's still a slow burn element there in terms of them actually becoming a couple. So I think people are able to find what they're looking for in Heated Rivalry that other shows are lacking, whether it's cohesive storytelling, whether it's diverse love story, like whatever you're looking for that's lacking in other media right now, you can find it. And yeah, again, they need to be lucky. This is not a show that's like 15 episodes airing weekly until like February or March.
That would have been a nightmare because, I think that program has gotten a little big for its britches because ABC is kind of lacking in the procedural department. I mean, obviously Grey's Anatomy has become a staple, but then like on CBS you have NCIS, which has been on for God knows how long, and on NBC Law and Order's been on for almost 30 years. Grey's Anatomy is going to be on for 30 years because they go keep it going. But it's like, you don't have no other show like that on that network that's that kind. And so I think that something else is kind of unique about Heated Rivalry. It's one of the first newer shows that I think actually has a hold on its audience. Like, High Potential showed up. She's the it girl now. Ain't nobody worried about no damn 911, nothing like that. So I think it's just very important, like Tim said, like Tim said, you are not bigger than the program. We can love you today and then tomorrow be like, what?
Right. Love you today, then
Wrap
tomorrow
it
you send the cop to space.
After that,
I can't even talk about that because why they playing an Angela Bassett face like that? But it's all right. She getting her money, and I'm happy for her.
She's having fun.
She's having a lot of fun because,
Good
like
for the
she
ball.
said, other actresses her age are being cast as grandmas, and she gets to do whatever the hell Athena
Right.
Grant's doing. So
And
she's living her best.
Isn't she like the highest paid actress on television right now?
Yes, as
A
she
Black
should.
woman to have that title? Yeah.
Love that
That's
for
what she
her.
deserves. Love her life.
Yes. Okay. I think that's going to wrap the Two Takes segment for this episode. We're going to move into our last segment. That segment is Read the Tags, where we talk about fanfic. We either recommend some of our favorite fics, or we typically have a discussion. And I think for this episode, Tim has a question for us, and we're going to discuss.
We will recommend something for the next one.
No. Yeah, like y'all don't hate us. We gonna recommend something.
We'll try to recommend something for the next one. But I said at the beginning that I had this really, really good question, and it kind of relates to what we had talked about earlier, which makes me feel like it's even more of a really good question.
Okay.
We briefly talked about it a few times on live, so if you know us from there, like, you've definitely probably heard parts of this before, but let's see where it goes. What do you think contributed or contributes currently in the present to the shift in fan fiction and fandom culture becoming a more mainstream experience instead of something to be hidden or enjoyed in private?
The disappearance of third spaces. Yeah.
For people that don't know, what is a third space?
Third space is a place you can go outside of your home or work/school to hang out with people. So like a coffee shop. And these are places you can hang out without having to spend, like $800. Like you can just go in, get your little coffee shop. Think of like Friends, Central Perk. Like that is a third space. And those places are disappearing. No one wants to hang out in a fucking Starbucks. It's loud as shit in there. People be sliding the chairs out. Like, no, it's stressful.
I don't want that.
Starbucks. And also coffee shops nowadays have less and less seats and tables to work at. But I think because 2021, people stopped going outside because you couldn't. And then on top of that, third spaces started to disappear. People started working remote. There were less ways to interact with people. There were less ways to meet the people who like what you like. Like before, you go to a convention, you go to a concert, you could, do whatever. But now people were spending hours online searching. And I think becoming hyper focused on things they never were before. Before people got distracted with other things, people used to go places. They would go to the club. They would, hang out with friends. Because honestly, prior to 2020, like the 2010s, fandom culture was very much like hush hush. Like it was looked at as cringe. It was looked at as like, oh, that's embarrassing. Like, why are you because I kept that shit so private. Only one of my friends I used to talk to about fandom stuff with, and that was the girl I went to One Direction concerts with. That's it.
I think that actually is a perfect answer, Alex. I'm not gonna lie. I really don't have anything to add to that because I think that is exactly it. I think we have gone into the internet a lot more because of the lack of social places for us to hang and not spend a lot of money. We ain't making a lot of money in these times. The economy is shit. So I think that because we used to just go to the mall. Anybody had no money.
Right.
It was just mall outside doing this, doing that without spending it. We don't have those things anymore. So everybody is chronically on the internet. And once you're chronically on the internet, you're gonna come across something in the fandom. You're gonna come across AO3. And typically if you weren't in that space, you really wouldn't see it. Nowadays, you see it everywhere. And I think it also comes with shows that are so extremely popular and everybody's wanting to get in and like talk about it, and it's going to come up more, it's in people's faces more, and that like leads to so many people being involved in it. I definitely think that that was a perfect answer. I don't have anything else to add to
You ate. And I
eight.
also think that, like, very specifically TikTok
Yeah.
also kind of like made fandom culture more mainstream because, beforehand, like we were saying, it was just kind of like a hush hush thing. So, like, I know when I was on Tumblr, I didn't use my actual name, I used my middle name or like another name. And then, like, on TikTok, well, I'm showing my face. So I was like, I might as well just go by Tress because that's me. And then I'm also just seeing more people like me because, I've shared this before. For years, I was always told, like, oh, being in fandom, that's a white thing. Like, black people aren't in fandom. I'm like, well, here the black people right here. Hello. So
Yeah.
that also really helps. And then I think too, what we were talking about earlier, now that it is popular, I think it's going to continue to get more popular because people are saying, like, oh, this is people's jobs, like talking about fandom and fan culture and different things like that. Like people are, creating a craft behind this, and more people are going to want to tap into that. So I think it started off with like what Alex said, like no more third spaces, and now it's just going to keep going up and up and up and up and just get crazier.
Press, I actually think TikTok's such a good answer because I think TikTok, like you said, it exposed who the fangirls were, like,
Mhm.
or with our faces, right?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just behind like an anonymous like Tumblr blog or Twitter account. It was you were seeing people actually freak out and have the same reactions you were having in public. Like there's a level of relatability to that type of content.
Hmm.
And I mean, we all know that. We all make that content. And we
Exactly.
with that content. So there's a level of relatability that I think shifted from people freaking out just over a Tumblr blog, like just reposting and adding a bunch of tags to it, freaking out in the comments, to people now posting a video and freaking out about it and putting their face to it. And there's a
Yeah.
level of, I also think there's, what's the word? What's the opposite of like, fuck, what's the word? It's not cultural appropriation. It's not cultural appropriation. It's like, uh fuck, what's the word? Like you know how like women took back the word slut?
Yeah.
What's that called? Like when you like take ownership of something that used to be kind of like derogatory, but like you, do you know what I'm trying to say?
I don't know I know what you're trying to say,
I
but
know
I
what you're
Yeah,
talking about. I
I
can't think of the word.
my mind is drawing a blank on the word, but I feel like that's kind of like what we've done with fandom. Like
yeah.
it used to be something that was so cringe and so embarrassing, but people started doing it loudly and not giving a fuck about it. And I also think, I mean, just speaking plainly, there's also a huge assumption in what people who are heavily involved in fandom look like. So it wasn't just nerdy white girls involved in fandoms writing fan fiction. I mean, even look at Euphoria and how they depicted Kat when she was writing Larry Stylinson fan fiction, right? Like she was definitely like seen as kind of like the weird loser in that moment, and it was meant to be secretive. But I think TikTok has shown that there's such a variety in fangirls. Like there's no one look to being a fangirl, to engaging in like fangirl culture. The same way there isn't for like those freaks who are obsessed with football, like or like baseball or whatever fucking sport they're obsessed with, where they know all the stats of a player. I'm like, if you know all the stats of this one player or this one team, you are no different than me rewatching Heated Rivalry 17 times and knowing exactly when Ilya Rosanoff blinks and when he says okay. Like you're no different than me. We're one and the same. We're one and the same. So I
Yeah.
think there's a larger appreciation for it, and honestly just a larger group of people saying, actually, I don't give a fuck if you think it's cringe. I don't. I'm having fun. Other people who like the content are having fun, and we're not hurting anyone. And I also think there's something to be said about the internalized misogyny, about anytime women like something, and fandom culture is largely led by
That's the
women.
one.
But I mean, even anime has had a like a resurgence. Like I remember back in high school, anime was looked at as something very cringe. Like it wasn't,
Oh, you
yeah,
got
like
Cole talked shit about if you was
yeah,
watching anime back in school because people used to talk about me watching Inuyasha. People used to talk about my brother watching what he watched. You literally like you were just called a nerd and love my mama down, but my mama thought that we was nerdy because we was watching anime. Like that's
right.
how deep that shit runs. Like it's yeah, and now people freely talk about it. That was also a
Yeah.
point that I wanted to make with the fangirls coming out and like actually seeing people's faces and making these fandom videos that has also inspired the other side of that where there are people that have accounts that are just about recommending
Mm-hmm.
fics on TikTok. And like used to, you wouldn't even want to tell nobody that you was reading them.
Oh,
Wouldn't.
And
I never told nobody.
I was
Writing
on
it
Wattpad,
down.
writing this down, huddled over my desk, reading in
yes,
public in class.
and
Yeah.
there are
And now
whole
I be in
pages.
class, iPad out. I'm on AO3. I don't
Don't
care.
care. Don't
I still
care.
can't do it, y'all. I'm still not there yet. I have a lot of internalized, um,
Yeah.
I don't know what the right word is, almost like
Uh-oh.
shame,
Stigmatism.
over it. Like I
Not me,
cannot
sister.
bring myself to read it. Like, I mean, I'll read in public, obviously, but never like like I keep a privacy screen protector on my phone. You won't be in my business.
Yeah.
You're
No.
so real. I'll be in
Like,
there, iPad out, my bright pink AO3 screen. I'm like, yeah,
That's
I'm reading thick.
crazy.
And what about it? What you gonna
like,
do?
no, I love that though. Like,
Yeah.
there's really like two sides to it, and I think there's more benefits than there are negatives. It's just, I mean, even with what's it called? I was gonna say something on top of like anime becoming more popular. Even like Marvel used to be considered like if you were like a diehard Marvel fan, like I was back in like 2010s, like going to see the movies multiple times, knowing all, all the little like things that happen and connecting the dots, like that was considered nerdy. My
You
friends
were a
told me that all the time.
nerd.
They were like,
Yeah. People thought I
Alex,
was a
not
nerd for
that.
that.
Like, and when I
Yeah.
got to college, that's probably when it became maybe like late high school, college time frame is when everyone was like, okay, yeah, that's just who she is. Like, it wasn't said in such a derogatory way. Like, it was just like, oh yeah, Alex loves Marvel. But I vividly remember like the shifts of when certain things became more acceptable to like, more
Yeah.
mainstream to like. And I think anime and fandoms are like the two, and I don't watch anime, so I don't know exactly when that shift happened, but I do remember seeing it though. Like I noticed it when it became a
Yeah.
much more like visible thing to talk about. Because I mean, even Megan the Stallion talking about watching anime, like she's
Yeah.
probably one of the like biggest ones I think of. Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
gonna bring that up because I don't know if this is PC or not, but like I think like seeing like celebrities and like hot people embracing fandom, like kind of
Yeah.
made it cool. Like Megan Thee Stallion is gorgeous and she's so cool, and her openly being like, "Yeah, I love anime," or like Michael B. Jordan loves anime as well. Like this very handsome man that people are like, "Oh, he's gorgeous." It just kind of made it like, "Oh, okay." Like if these people are into it, then like it is normal. And then like you were saying, like with sports, like that's a conversation my dad has had because like my dad and my uncles literally they had a friend pass away this year. Why they watching the Eagles game at the repass? Like y'all tore up. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So it's just like if y'all are that locked in, me being locked in with my shows, it's not that different. I'm actually way
Right.
more demure than y'all.
Right.
So
Like you have guys trying to watch games at weddings, but
weddings,
think
yeah.
it's cringe when a girl wants to listen to Defying Gravity at her wedding or a One Direction song is like her first dance. I'm like, you're getting mad and you're just looking in a mirror. Like it's the same thing. Like everyone's just running in circles at this point, trying to find something to feel
It's
like they're
always a
better
circle.
than the other. Like, oh, well, there's this trend on TikTok, I think called like I think it's something like pretty people are so boring or like boring or like pretty fuck, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like people will post things that they're interested in, and it'll be like very basic things from like Starbucks, summer I turned pretty, like very like basic stereotypical popular things that girls like, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that, to be clear, but it's almost like now people get shamed for only liking that stuff because you'll go in
yes.
the comments and they're like, "You're boring as shit," and I'm like, "All right, you don't gotta jump them. They like what they
That's
like. There's
relax.
nothing wrong with
Relax.
that."
Let them
But
have that coffee. Like,
Right.
it's interesting though to see the shift in that dynamic. And honestly, it does kind of make me feel old as fuck a little bit too. I can't lie, it does.
There was also a shift I want to say in like video games because not
yeah.
as big as anime and fandom, but I do think that like when you used to talk about like going home and playing the game, if you wasn't outside, you was lame for wanting to be on the game. You was lame for wanting to go, especially RPGs. Like you was real lame for that. And now everybody want to stream, everybody want to play the game, and it's I might be a little salty because whatever,
A
but
little, just a little.
I
just
don't.
a little because it was everybody. Everybody thought it was weird if you had Halo because we had every system. Okay, we was on that bad. I in fact had a Game Boy. I in fact
I
did
love my
the
Game Boy.
first group chat on the DS.
I
I
Yes,
in
definitely.
fact
yes,
had
group
all of
chat.
them.
Mhm.
Okay, I in fact had all of them, and like people found it weird. People
Yeah.
found you playing Pokemon weird. I still got my Game Boy SP.
Pokemon was definitely something that was considered weird.
For a
Yeah.
Weird.
long time,
Yu-Gi-Oh
yeah.
cards, the
Yeah.
Pokemon cards, they found
Yu-Gi-Oh!
all
Yeah.
of that weird.
Yeah. It's so interesting how just like things shift. And I wonder if it's things shifting or if it's the people who liked it when it like was made, the original age group just
Yeah.
grew up and said, actually, I don't give a fuck. Because, I see people say all the time that like once you're in your 20s, you start loudly enjoying the things you liked in secret when you were like 12 and 13. Like
Yeah.
you stop giving a fuck because it's like, I'm 20, you can't embarrass me. Like I'm 27 years old, you're not going to make me feel bad because I still listen to One Direction. Like I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I don't give a fuck. You're not going to make me feel bad if I read a fucking Marvel fic. It is what it is. I'm
Yeah.
actually reading. What's the last thing you read, bitch?
Yeah.
So like there's you just that level of embarrassment, even though I just said I still have like an internalized like thing about it, like I could never tweet on like my Twitter a fic I read. Like I would I think I would have a stroke if I tried to do that. Like I could not. But it's just it's just so interesting. I do think a part of it is we're just older. And
Yeah.
so, and I think because we're older, kind of like how the people who like were popular in high school, they peak in high school a lot of times. So the stuff that they deemed was cool and popular, no one gives a fuck anymore. They peaked. Like they're kind of irrelevant now. They're a bunch of mean girls who are nurses and cops who are fucking losers. So it's like
They
this is the
always
only
want to
thing.
be a nurse. They
I
Always,
always want to
always
be
want to
a
be a
nurse
nerd
or a
every
teacher.
or a
every nurse
teacher
is not a mean girl, but every mean girl somehow becomes a nurse.
somehow.
So I think part of it is us aging and us feeling, I think it's really just us getting over the embarrassment because it's like, why the fuck should I be embarrassed that I like this show? Why?
Why?
Like, there's so many other things that are worth being embarrassed about that people don't feel shame for that they should.
At
Like,
all.
no, but me watching Heated Rivalry a million times or watching One Direction music videos or whatever, like that's not some or anime, like those aren't things to be embarrassed about. They're things that people actually put a lot of time and effort in to create this media for their audience. And I'm that audience and I respect it and I understand it and I like to talk about it. And there's nothing embarrassing about that.
Nope.
We have all seen and experienced the negative side of fandom, some to more degrees than others.
You
And
know,
thinking about this and comparing it to our previous conversation about AO3 and gatekeeping, do you feel like as this space, fandom, gets more popular and the rise of streamers and content creators and more people start to enter this space, whether it's for fun or for a job or whatever, that we will start to see more of the negative stuff that we've been seeing? Do you think there'll be another shift in fandom culture as it gets more popular?
Yeah.
For sure. I think we're in it now. Like, I think there are just so many people, as we were saying, that are just so new to fandom and they don't know the culture and they did not wipe their feet on the mat before they entered the house. And so I think that's what we're experiencing now. Like, people just don't know how to interact with people. People don't know how to interact with people outside of just doing this right here. So, like, actually talking to and about people, they just say crazy stuff that the four of us wouldn't say to nobody, you know? And I think that now, I think it's a good thing that anybody can start creating content and anybody can, do things, but people are taking advantage of that. And it's a very scary thing because certain people just need to watch what they say or be silent. Being silent is always a good choice.
The art of shutting the fuck up.
thank you, because we
Yeah.
Absolutely.
lost it. We need to get it
Absolutely.
back. You know what I was gonna say?
Yeah.
We lost that fucking art, and we need it back, and we need it back now. We lost the art of shutting the fuck up. We lost the art of minding our own fucking business.
That's a big one.
Because like I think like you just don't gotta comment on everything.
Yeah.
You don't have to comment on everything. I also worry about more anti-blackness in fandom spaces as they grow, especially toward Black and brown creators, which we're already seeing. So I'm gonna leave it there.
I think because television has shifted so much and this 6 to 8 episode has become the norm, people are going to start looking for content in other places. Because having to wait 2 years for 6 episodes of television, I just saw the next season 4 of House of Dragons was supposed to be the final season. That's what the showrunner just said. I'm assuming that will come out 2029, 2030, because the next season comes out 2026. It comes out this April, like, or this sometime this spring.
That's
So
sick.
the first season came out 2022. That's damn near a decade for less than 50 episodes of television, assuming that they stick with the same 8 episodes per season.
That's sick.
I'm like, if that's the only way people are creating shows nowadays, or you have to wait 50 years like for Stranger Things, and then the series finale is trash from what I'm seeing, people go to fandom content when they're unsatisfied with the source material. That is a huge motivator for people reading fics, for people writing fics, for people making headcanons and all these things. And even though shows like Heated Rivalry and Interview with the Vampire are great, very well written shows, they're also not, it's not that much content. We're not getting a lot of content compared to what we grew up with, what we're used to. And I think that's going to again cause a shift as more shows like start this method. It's just going to lead to more fandom content being created, which isn't a bad thing necessarily. But I do think when you leave fans too much time to speculate over what's going to happen and too much time to give them their own headcanons, right?
Pick that up.
Because, like, I mean, even with Heated Rivalry, I have seen it so many times, but I've also read so many fics at this point. I be having trouble figuring out what's canon. I do. I forget sometimes. I can't lie. And same thing with Marvel, because it's all jumbled up at this point.
Yeah.
But I think as more shows take forever to release 8 measly episodes, people are going to just start coming up with their own shit, their own headcanons, and they're going to start to be disappointed where it's like, well, this season came out 2 years ago, and in those 2 years, someone, there's been 400 fics made with this specific headcanon, so this headcanon must be true. But then when the writers release the next season, it's nowhere near the headcanon because you're like, that's not what we were fucking thinking. I don't know where y'all got that shit from. So I think that's also going to continue to just get worse, and more people are going to become unsatisfied with the source material.
Like Teen Wolf, when they named the sheriff Noah and not John.
What was that?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Noah?
Honestly, Teen Wolf in general, just the fucking movie.
We don't talk about that. I don't know. That doesn't exist in my. That doesn't exist in my. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. All right, y'all. That's been another episode of Rated TNT with Tim and Tay. I want to say thank you to our lovely guests, Alex and Tress. Before we wrap, I'm hoping that y'all watched the first episode. If you have not, Alex, Tress, let them know where to find y'all, how to find y'all, what y'all on.
Yes, you can find me on TikTok and YouTube at the same at Hallie Hallie. The second Hallie has 3 L's.
You can find me pretty much everywhere at Tress Camille, TikTok, Twitter, Blue Sky. I'm coming to YouTube, all that at Tress Camille.
Oh, period. Come on with the YouTube. Okay.
And you can also find them on the 3rd episode of this podcast related to Heated Rivalry, where we will be taking a group trip to the cottage. So
see y'all there.
Y'all should meet us there. But yeah, that's gonna wrap another episode of Welcome to Rated TNT. Thank y'all for coming along. I'm hoping to see y'all in the next one. Love you. Bye.
Bye.